You might be surprised to hear this, but something as private and normal as masturbation is still one of the least honestly discussed topics in health. We hear jokes about it, we see memes, but when it comes to real, open conversations about what it actually does to your body and mind, there's mostly silence. In this video, I want to break that silence, gently, honestly, and without judgment. Because whether we like to admit it or not, this is something that most people do, and yet very few truly understand. Hi everyone, I'm glad you're here. If you're new to the channel, take a second to subscribe. This space is all about learning how your body and mind really work, without shame or filters. So let's start with something that might sound shocking. According to some studies, around 90% of men and over 70% of women masturbate regularly, and yet many of them secretly feel guilty afterward. That guilt, that tiny wave of, should I have done that, can quietly affect your mental state, your confidence, and even your relationships. It's possible that you felt that yourself, maybe without realizing how deeply it's connected to what society taught you to believe. Experts suggest that masturbation itself isn't harmful. In fact, it's a completely natural way for the body to release tension and regulate sexual hormones. But when it becomes a coping mechanism for stress, loneliness, or boredom, that's where things begin to shift. People often use it as emotional medicine without even noticing it. Think about it. After a long, stressful day, instead of talking, moving, or relaxing, your brain reaches for the fastest dopamine hit it knows. The truth is, your body doesn't always crave pleasure. Sometimes it just wants to escape discomfort. Research shows that the same brain circuits involved in emotional comfort eating are active during frequent masturbation. So, in a strange way, you might just be snacking on pleasure instead of cookies. Now, before you start feeling guilty about it, don't. There's nothing inherently wrong with exploring your own body. In fact, experts believe that healthy masturbation can improve sleep, boost mood, and even lower blood pressure. One small trick you can try: pay attention to why you feel the urge. If it's because you're bored or anxious, try taking a walk first. If the urge is still there afterward, it's probably a physical one, not just emotional habit. And yes, despite what some people say, no, you will not go blind, lose your hair, or run out of energy if you masturbate. That's one of those funny old myths that refuse to die. Honestly, if that were true, half the planet would be walking around in sunglasses and wigs by now. Still, there's a reason so many people report feeling drained or unfocused after doing it too often. Experts suggest that the problem isn't the act itself, but the frequency and intention behind it. When it turns into a routine escape, your brain's reward system starts to expect constant stimulation, and everyday life can start to feel dull by comparison. That's why some people describe a strange, flat feeling afterward, even though nothing's physically wrong. But here's the part most people never talk about: the link between frequent masturbation, dopamine sensitivity, and real-world motivation. Because yes, it's possible that what happens in private might quietly affect how driven, focused, or connected you feel in daily life. And that's where things get truly fascinating and a little bit uncomfortable. Because what if the habit that's supposed to help you relax is actually the one that's slowly making you tired of real life? Stay with me, because in the next part, I'll explain exactly what happens in your brain and hormones during masturbation, and why too much of a good thing might be silently reshaping your motivation, focus, and even your desire for real connection. When you masturbate, your brain releases a mix of powerful chemicals: dopamine, oxytocin, and prolactin, all tied to pleasure, bonding, and relaxation. For a moment, it feels like the world slows down, everything is calm, and your body finally exhales. But here's the catch: when that reward system is triggered too often, especially through artificial stimulation like pornography, the brain starts to adapt. It begins to need more to feel the same level of satisfaction. Experts suggest this is the same neurological loop seen in people who constantly scroll through social media. The reward fades, but the craving grows. What's even more fascinating is how your body starts linking pleasure not to real human touch, but to your own imagination or the screen in front of you. Over time, that can quietly change how you experience attraction, intimacy, or even motivation. Some research indicates that frequent masturbation, especially when paired with visual overstimulation, can desensitize the brain's response to natural dopamine triggers, like a hug, laughter, or a deep conversation. Suddenly, real life feels a little too quiet. It's possible. That's why some people say they feel numb after doing it too often. Not emotionally broken, but just disconnected. Their mind craves stimulation, but real-world joy doesn't hit the same anymore. It's not about morality, it's about biology trying to rebalance itself. And the more your brain learns to expect quick highs, the harder it becomes to enjoy slow, natural pleasure. Experts also point out another interesting pattern: how the timing of masturbation affects energy and focus. Doing it late at night, right before sleep, can actually confuse your hormonal rhythm. That post-release calm you feel, it's because of prolactin, the same hormone that signals your body it's time to rest. So if you're wondering why you wake up feeling sluggish the next morning, it's not your imagination. You've told your brain it's bedtime, even if it's 2 a.m. One simple thing you can notice, not change yet, just notice, is how your energy feels the next day, depending on when and how you release. Awareness itself can shift habits without force. Your body keeps score more than you think. And yes, some studies even suggest that frequent masturbation may slightly lower testosterone for a short period of time, which could explain those days when you feel oddly unmotivated or emotionally flat. It's not dangerous, but it's your body's way of saying, hey, maybe I need a reset. It's similar to eating your favorite food every single day. Even chocolate starts to taste less magical after a while. There's also an emotional side we rarely talk about. Many people use masturbation to manage loneliness, frustration, or emotional emptiness, and it works for about 10 minutes. Afterward, though, the same feelings quietly return, sometimes stronger. The brain got its dopamine, but the heart still feels unheard. You could say it's a bit like trying to fix a leaky pipe with a bubble bath. It feels soothing for a while, but the problem's still there underneath. By the way, some men and women say they perform better at work or in sports after taking a short detox from masturbation. It's not magic. It's probably just the brain recalibrating dopamine sensitivity. Suddenly, focus feels sharper, energy more stable, and confidence more grounded. It's like rediscovering color after seeing everything in grayscale. But this doesn't mean abstinence is the answer for everyone. What truly matters is why and how you do it, and what you expect it to give you. Because here's the hidden truth: the body can't be tricked forever. Sooner or later, it demands balance, physically, hormonally, and emotionally. And that brings us to something rarely discussed, even in medical circles: what actually happens to your nervous system and emotional state when you completely stop, or when you push the habit too far. The results might surprise you, and not in the way you think. When someone keeps ignoring their body's signals, things start to shift in quiet but powerful ways. At first, it's barely noticeable. Maybe a bit less energy, less focus, less motivation to connect with others. But over time, the brain begins to lose that natural balance between pleasure and purpose. Experts suggest that when dopamine is constantly released through self-stimulation, your reward system stops responding to the smaller joys of life: a great meal, a laugh with friends, even genuine intimacy. It's not that you stop caring, it's that your brain forgets how to feel fulfilled without constant peaks. If nothing changes, that cycle can create what some researchers call pleasure fatigue. You start craving more, but feeling less. It's a paradox. Your body keeps asking for satisfaction, but your emotions stay numb. Some people even report feeling anxious or irritable when they try to stop because their brain misses that instant comfort. It's not about weakness, it's about chemistry. And chemistry can be rewired. One simple way to begin is by changing the environment that triggers the habit. It may help to keep your phone out of reach when you're in bed, not because it's bad, but because temptation usually starts with boredom, not desire. If you fall asleep with your phone across the room, you've already broken half the loop. Experts point out that even a few days of this small change can improve sleep and focus. And if you accidentally fall asleep while doing it, well, congratulations. That's the healthiest multitasking you'll ever do. There's also something deeply psychological about control. When you resist an urge, not out of guilt, but out of curiosity, What happens if I wait? Your brain starts rebuilding its sensitivity to real-world rewards. Over time, that same dopamine rush returns, but now it's triggered by things that truly matter. That's why many people say they feel sharper, more grounded, and more confident after just a short break. It's not magic, it's biology finding its rhythm again. It's possible that reducing frequency, not eliminating it completely, is the healthiest balance for most people. Experts believe that moderation helps the body maintain normal hormone cycles while protecting mental clarity. And for some, it's not about counting days at all, but about shifting intention. When it's done consciously, without guilt or escape, masturbation becomes just another part of healthy sexuality, not a substitute for it. A surprisingly effective trick is to replace the habit with something equally physical but emotionally grounding, like a cold shower, stretching, or a quick walk outside. The goal isn't punishment, it's redirection. You're teaching your body that comfort can come from more than one source. And funny enough, that 5-minute cold shower can make you feel more alive than any quick release ever could. Experts also note that true healing comes when you stop fighting your urges like an enemy. Instead, you start listening to them as messages. Sometimes the urge isn't about sex at all. It's about stress, loneliness, or the need to feel alive again. When you recognize that difference, you stop reacting automatically and start responding with awareness. And that's really what this entire conversation is about. Awareness, not shame. Your body isn't trying to sabotage you, it's asking for balance. Whether that means taking a short break, changing a routine, or simply becoming more conscious of what drives your desire, there's a good chance you'll feel more connected to yourself and others again. Your body is sending you signals. The question is, are you listening? If this video helped you see things from a new perspective, don't forget to subscribe, hit like, and share your thoughts below. Your story might be the one that helps someone else find balance too.